Hey guys, it's Jo here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys all of the books that essentially forged my teenage years. More specifically, some of them are more focused on the characters, but we're mostly going to be talking about the books that pretty much made up my teenage years and kept me as a reader. If you are new here, hello, my name is Monroe. I am a self-published author of 3 books down in the description, all around dark romantasy. We have one that is young adult, and that would be Deadly Scream. Then we have a duology, which is A Demon's Heart, and that is more of a new adult dark fantasy, if you guys are interested. Currently working on my 4th and 5th book right now, and that's my dog sighing in the background. If you're interested, everything will be listed down below. And if you are not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining us. If you are definitely not new here, as in you've been here for a long time, so I think I've had my channel since 2015, 2016, I will be talking about a lot of books that I talked about a long time ago. I'm currently 23, and I started my YouTube channel when I think I was 14, 14. I know my first video I was in 8th grade or something, but then I really started uploading in my freshman year. Yeah, so I think that's 14, 15 area, 13, 14, 15, between there. So it's been quite a while, almost 10 years since I've been on here. Have I been consistent? No, but that's okay because my love for books has not lessened. My love for writing has not lessened. So anyway, thank you guys all so much for joining me. Let's get into some books that changed my life, essentially helped me grow up. That's a weird way to put it. Essentially, books that were there for me when I was a teenager. That's what we're gonna call that. The first one should be, to no one's surprise, I've talked about this many times and I have a book review on this channel. It is Wendy Darling by Colleen Oakes. It's volume 1, Stars. This book changed my life. I think this was the first book series when I was younger that made me cry. I'm not even lying. I remember reading through this book series and at home and then at class. I think I read the last the 3rd book in class and I was crying at something that happened in it. Or was it this book? I don't remember. There was a lot of crying moments in this book, and I will forever linger back to this book. This book and this book series is one of the first ones that restarted it all. I couldn't be more thankful for this. This also made me realize how much I love the tale of Peter Pan. So I remember when I was a freshman, when I was a freshman when I read this, so I think 14, I was creating so many art pieces in my art classes revolving around Peter Pan and Wendy Darling, all that. So I have so much show to this book, and it's making me a little emotional thinking about it, but we're not gonna get emotional. Actually, that's a lie. We are gonna get emotional, but I need to not. So this is my first one, which is Wendy Darling by Colleen Oakes. Also, going through looking at this stack of books, I want everyone to realize this was the era of retellings, okay? This was the era of retellings, because the next one we had is Splintered by A.G. Howard. I loved it. This is my first dark retelling of something, and I loved it. Well, technically, this is also kind of a dark retelling, but it's not as brutal as this. This is so good. So this is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, Splintered. It is based off of the generations after Alice and kind of her family bloodline. Oh my god, it was so good. I remember crushing through this entire series so fast. It made me it just made me think differently, because there were so many things that were happening that were brutal in here, and the characters were really good. I'm trying to remember if I think the main character made me really mad. I still loved her though, but she made me really mad. And then I think it was mostly because she kept going, spoiler, she kept going between love interests, and I was you idiot, there's clearly a better one. And she just kept going back and forth. So this was a series that kept me really, how do I say the word? Alive. It kept me alive because I wanted to keep going back for more. It was really good. Actually, since we're already talking about Alice in Wonderland, we're gonna do another Alice in Wonderland retelling. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I've already done so many reading vlogs and videos about this. This is my all-time favorite Alice in Wonderland retelling. I have loved nothing more than this book. I think I've reread it so many times. It is a staple in my mind. A staple. I think this is one of the books that this is 100% in my top 10 books, and I read this almost 10 years ago. There's so many books that you can't compete with this. The love story, the fantasy, the retelling of it. Literally, it was written so beautifully, and I don't know how else to say this besides this book to me is perfection. There's literally nothing better than this book. This book, if you don't know, follows the Red Queen when she's younger, aka Catherine in this book before she's called the Red Queen, and essentially it is when she's really young, still lives with her family, and she's poor, and then becomes not poor. Yeah, this is, I think, one of by far my top 10 favorite books of my entire lifetime. The next one I have is Stalking Jack the Ripper. I also talked this a lot when I was younger. This introduced me to the Carrie Maniscalco as an author, and this was one of the first book series where I was waiting for the next book. Like, read it, waiting for the next book. Read the second one, waiting for the third, and so on. I don't think I've ever been so like anxious about this book series or like a book series as much as I was about this. It was unlike anything I've ever read before. Like, we had this main character who is a woman who is defying pretty much society standards in this time period. She wants to be a doctor, but not a thing. And then you get this cute little sidekick that you fall in love with. It was amazing. So this is a book series and an author that I will always come back to. This one, you guys are not ready for this one. We did a whole book talk on the entire series. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I low-key forgot about this book until I was like going through all my bookshelves, and I was like, holy shit, how could I forget about this? This literally made my high school career. I put so much time into making those videos and like book reviews. This was my first introduction to like book death. Death as a power. Mara Dyer, one of the baddest bitches out there. I'm telling you guys, she lets no one push her around, especially no man. No man, no family. This girl not getting pushed around. I freaking loved it. I should do a reread of the series. Actually, I don't know. I've noticed that when I do rereads, it kind of ruins the book sometimes because I'm like, my brain has developed since I read these when I was 15, 16, 17. So maybe we won't do a reread. But like I said, this was one of the first books that made me realize how much a female can like have female rage and be a badass, essentially. This was before I read any of like Sarah J Maas books. This was my like, I actually can't compare these to any of the Sarah J Maas characters because those are like heavy fantasy. But this is one of my biggest lore drops from when I was a teenager. This was probably my top 3 favorite series before I was introduced to ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and like any of those. So this will forever hold a place in my heart. The next one is also one I heavily focused on, The Bone Witch by Rinju Pecco. I don't think I'll ever be able to get over this series. This was another book that was very heavily focused on death. Honestly, thinking about it now, my like current area that I study is like Gothic literature and like death and like how it like plays out in books, and like that's essentially my favorite. This makes so much sense. Okay, doing this video is making me realize how much I read about death when I was younger and how much it shaped me and how much I loved it. That's actually so wild that I'd like never thought about that. The Bone Witch is unlike anything I've ever read before. Like anything before that and even after that, I can't compare anything to this work. Honestly, I think this is my first enemies to lovers, straight up. Obviously, no spoilers with this one because I want you guys to read it, but this is definitely my first enemies to lovers, and it's such a good fantasy. It's like a cultural fantasy. Like, you learn so much about culture and like these different kind of witches, and like her being like the first like essentially like a necromancer, and like society wants to kill her, but she's literally like death, and oh my god, it's so good. I was obsessed. I haven't read anything else of Rinju Pecco. I just see that she like came out with other things, but when I read the descriptions, they were like fine. But this will also probably still be in my top 10. I should do a video on that's gonna be really hard though. But you know what? I'll do it. But The Bone Witch by Rinju Pecco. Oh boy, you can tell what kind of reader I was. Here we go. Wake by Amanda Hocking. One of the darkest series I've ever read. There is literally, it's so good. I thought it was gonna be like cute mermaids, cute sirens. No, these are sirens that are gonna literally murder everyone, and it was great. This series also shaped my brain because it's pretty much like a full female lead cast, like character list. Obviously, like besides like the main character, they're all baddies. They all know what they're doing. They all know what they want. They don't let no man tell them what to do. God, this is such a good book series. This first book cover, hideous. I have like all the other books with like the regular book covers, but yeah, the only thing that's cool about it is like the iridescency of it. Yeah, so this book is about sirens, and this is when I started to learn how much more I really liked mythological creatures. Why can I not speak? Supernatural creatures? Sure. Creatures in general. This was one of my awakening books that I read, and it was really good. Involved a lot of murder, involved a lot of, it definitely had a lot of darker tones. Which brings us to our last one, which is also a mermaid / siren retelling, or not retelling, there's no retelling of this, of Neptune by Anna Banks. Oh my god. This was one of the only romance series that I like really read. I wasn't huge into romance in general. I was a very fantasy avid reader, which is crazy because this entire like book series, there's romance all of them. But I mostly read them for fantasy when I was younger. Now I kind of read them for definitely like romantic. Who doesn't love a little bit of romance with like people and like fake things, you know? But this was another series that was so different to me because it wasn't like a standard like mermaid story. Like, it was kind of, I think honestly it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling that's like with mermaid, and it just really shaped me on like supplying my brain with the fact that I really like creatures. Again, with that word, creatures. We love that here. Yeah, so Of Neptune by Anna Bay is gonna be my last one for now, because there's like other books that I could definitely like put in here, but I'm not going to. Because I'm looking at a stack over there that was gonna be a different video. Yeah. Okay, so here are my books. They're all falling apart. All my books for this video. They're all like cool colors. I love that, besides her. Yeah, so these are all the books that had a huge part in my childhood / teenage years, and I will forever and always remember them. Apparently, except for Mara Dyer, which is wild because most of my channel is based off of that from when I was in high school. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below what books really impacted your younger life experience, your younger reading experience. What books impacted you the most when you were younger? As like, we'll ask that because that's like kind of the theme of the video, you know? I want to see what like other people say. I'm curious what books other people like, what things like really hit people differently. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm saying, but that's okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below. Like this video for more bookish videos and writing to be soon. Also, announcement, I started a Patreon that is down in the description, where it is going to have extra bonus content with writing, some book things. Right now, I just have one of my short stories on there. Currently, I'm only doing, I think it was like $5 a month. That might be too much. I think I had to make it $4 a month because I was gonna make it $3, and it was like, you can't do that. So I think it's like between 3 and 5, one of the two. And you will get free access to all of the short stories I'll be posting. And if you are not subscribed, I will be posting short stories with challenges and videos that you can purchase separately if you don't want to be subscribed. If not, totally good. If so, thank you so much. Thank you for considering me. I love all of your support that you guys give me. Yeah, and subscribe to my channel to see more videos on here besides Patreon. I'm running out of breath. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!